Las Vegas is Everything Wrong with Society by Patrick CC. So last time we saw and we watched everything that was wrong with Mount Everest, you know, and how that reflects on society. And this time, Las Vegas, I mean, we all know Las Vegas. It doesn't exactly have the most, let's say, family-friendly reputation, you know? Lots of degeneracy, drugs, the fast life, the cheap booze, the crazy lifestyle. Isn't it crazy? Well, I wouldn't fully know. I've never been to Las Vegas. But we've seen the reputation. We've seen the memes. So let's just see how it's ruining society, you know, what it shows about you and me, even though we haven't been there. Or maybe you have, I don't know. Enough of the yap, let's get to the dab.
Las Vegas today is an absolute ghost town. It went from being a larger-than-life dream vacation for most Americans to becoming everything that's wrong with modern society.
The prices are just ridiculous. Everything is insane.
The Desert Inn, that's gone. Mirage is gone.
Sahara.
Everything is gone and different.
It's gone. I love Bro's accent.
It's not hard to understand why tourism is declining more and more each year when you have to spend $30 per day to park at your hotel, then you wait in a 2-hour line to check in, only to not even be greeted by a person, but rather a kiosk. Later, when you're burning up in the 100-degree desert, you'll have to pay $14 for a water bottle.
Goodness, that is diabolical. See this right here, 2-liter full, only 85p, which is probably like $1. Come on, guys, you cannot get away with such wickedness.
To cool down, and if you somehow
water deluxe, $24, get out of here. It all comes from the same flipping lake, bro.
managed to avoid a car accident while being distracted by the $4 billion sphere that is polluting the sky with blinding LEDs, you might notice that iconic and charming hotels are being demolished while crowds of people cheer for its demise.
They're cheering. I hope nobody was in that building. What is going on? Is this planned? What the heck?
The saddest part about people being excited to see the old Las Vegas get turned to rubble is they don't realize the new Vegas being built is not for them at all. Because the downfall...
They're pouring it down to make new buildings. I guess the new buildings, they're going to be charging crazy prices, which the average Joe cannot afford.
All of Las Vegas is actually by a calculated design. And let this video be a warning, because now that they have the blueprint, corporate overlords are going to execute their plan in your favorite cities all over the world. Las Vegas was in desperate need of a rebrand in the 90s, as it was still seen as a sinner's paradise in the middle of the desert. Old Vegas was the ideal location for men between the ages of 30 and 65 to pick up prostitutes, get wasted, gamble, and see artists like Elvis Presley or Frank Sinatra. The heart of the Vegas experience was to give guys a reason to abandon their morals for quick and shallow pleasures. And because it was an isolated place from the rest of civilization, visitors felt like they could use Vegas as a way to unleash their desires before returning home and pretending like nothing ever happened. But none of this would have been possible without the oversight from the Italian mob. They treated it like a criminal playground, burying bodies out in the sand and settling turf wars while giving guests the illusion of safety in what became known as Sin City. A past mafia informant for the feds named Andrew Del Monte has gone on record admitting that the organized crime was rampant, but the average tourist had no idea because they were distracted by the glitz and glam.
So imagine the mob with alcohol, with no juice, alcohol, and then behind you, bang, 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 and then you're like, huh, what was that? Anyway, party! That's crazy, bro. Be aware, man. Be aware of your surroundings, guys.
Was running this town, you know, back in the day. It was more personable. They knew your name when you came to a casino. They knew what your favorite drink was, things that you like to do, a show you should like to go to.
But once the mob was eventually chased out of town, all that was left were racially motivated gang wars, kidnappings, and other filth that nobody was interested in spending hard-earned money to see. And this is where the new king of Las Vegas, Golden Nuggets Steve Wynn, saw an opportunity to change Vegas from a boys' club into more of an adult Disneyland. He was was one of the first to conceptualize the mega resort, something that would welcome everyone to a special experience and define the Las Vegas Strip for the next 35 years. Steve broke down the resort experience into a science, focusing on grand architecture and decor that made Vegas more of a glamorous vacation for the middle class.
He is a billionaire, but he isn't all that interested in gambling. His passion is creating the resort.
You satisfied with the way the light is hitting our flowers?
He works closely with his design team and signs off on nearly every detail.
I love this restaurant, Roger.
Why do you focus so much on how it looks?
I can't help myself. It's a sickness. My doctor says if I take my medication, I'm no danger to anybody but myself.
Or just might have OCD. What do you think?
I can't help it.
The projects that Steve and his collaborators worked on could be compared to what the UAE did for Dubai. The first was the Mirage, which had a classier feel along with a water and fire light show coming out of an artificial volcano. But what really altered the trajectory of Vegas nightlife was the opening of Excalibur by Circus Circus, which was built like an actual castle in the middle of the Vegas desert. The entire structure was designed like a medieval theme park for children that also happened to have hotel rooms and slot machines to keep the adults engaged. These mega resorts also provided entertainment for the whole family. There were magic acts and performances from icons like Tiger Tamers, Siegfried and Roy, and Excalibur had everything from fire-breathing dragons that emerged from fog to literal arenas where men would dress up as knights in the Tournament of Kings. Over the next 10 years, elaborate mega-themed hotels and massive luxury casinos were becoming part of the new Vegas identity. Harrah's, the Flamingo, Bally's, Paris, Bellagio, MGM Grand, New York, the Egyptian-styled Luxor, Mandalay Bay, and Treasure Island dominated the city skyline. And while prostitution, petty theft, drugs, and other crimes were still rampant, the Dubaiification of Las Vegas made the city look like an entirely new product. But before we dive deeper, at this point in my life, the most important thing to me is my health. I might have ignored some things in the past because finding which doctors more can happen when you have been avoiding patch air you in recently reflected on why 90s Vegas was something unique compared to the rest of the world.
It was about freedom. People live a normal life at home. Then they'd set aside some money, a budget, and that money would be used to go to Las Vegas, spend it the way they want, live big, get a little crazy, stay up late, drink, go to shows, maybe gamble, all the bright lights, the freedom of Las Vegas to behave a little crazy. The town gave you permission. It was all about the freedom to indulge yourself. And we don't do that every day in our normal life. We pay attention to things. We live disciplined, go to work, take care of business. But Las Vegas, all that's out the window and you live to have fun. That was the secret of Las Vegas, and it's real important that that not change. People were free to spend the money they wanted. They could eat in fancy restaurants or go to shows, stay up late, even gamble. Their choice. Their choice. Free choice.
90s Vegas sent a message to Americans that a working family of 4 could have a fun vacation without going broke. You could eat like a king in budget-friendly buffets and restaurants while the kids ran off and played at the nearest arcade. If you didn't have the money to buy a ticket for a show, you and your family could simply walk down the strip and catch the Treasure Island Pirate Show for free, or you could bring a date to watch the Bellagio fountains. This is exactly what made Vegas seem like a magical place. Even if you didn't win big gambling, you still walked away with an experience that was well worth the money. One travel blogger described 1999 Vegas saying, "I took my first legal age trip to Vegas with a friend. We stayed 5 nights at the Manor House at Circus Circus for $100. The package came with 2 buffet coupons, a blackjack match play, and other freebies. Coupon books were treasure maps, leading us from one free drink to the next. The Sahara had $1 blackjack tables. I stretched $40 into hours of play, with free drinks to boot. The Stardust ran a promotion. Spend $50 at any restaurant and get 2 show tickets, plus 2 drinks each. My friend and I could barely hit $25 a piece at the Mexican restaurant, even with 32-ounce margarita mugs. An experience this cheap was almost too good to be true, but the reason it was possible was because dozens of independently run casinos were competing to give you the best deal, something that feels almost entirely gone in our modern world now that private equity owns literally everything. Every hotel, restaurant, and casino had to fight for your attention, which meant cheaper rooms, better comps, more generous odds, and experiences that felt genuinely worth your money. The actual great part of capitalism people don't talk about is when there is a lot of competition between businesses, the customer actually benefits.
That's so true. I don't know if I forgot what video I said it in, but I said this in another video. Yeah, man, competition is the best for the consumer, man. When they actually have to compete, they actually have to give a toss, bro. But when it's just one person at the top, monopoly, it's like, hey, big company, we don't like it when you do XYZ. And they're like, shut up. You can't get this service from anywhere else, so you have no choice but to accept it and to take it, so go away. But if they have a competitor and he's like, all right, then you're not doing X, I'm just gonna go to company BCD and they're gonna do what I want, you see? And they're like, oh wait, okay, chill, we want your money, fine, I guess we will do X. You see what I mean? Competition is good for us, monopoly, competition good for us, bad for them, vice versa, you know? Does that make sense? Heard it there? Okay, here we go.
The second that competition starts to disappear, corporations will destroy the thing you once loved and rebuild it into an overpriced machine designed to extract as much money from you as possible and make you miserable in the process. By the year 2000, many of these casinos and hotels were becoming dissatisfied with running their own individual operations, so a mega corporation was starting to form. The Park Place Entertainment Corporation was formed when Hilton Hotels Corporation split its lodging and gaming operations into two separate companies, accomplished through a tax-free distribution of Hilton's gaming division to its stockholders. The move gave them control over Flamingo, Bally's, Paris, and the capital to purchase Caesar's Palace. Soon after, Steve Wynn sold his company, making MGM Grand become MGM Mirage, which now had control over Bellagio, the Mirage, Treasure Island, MGM Grand Resort, and New York. But if you were a tourist in the early 2000s, you probably had no idea that a couple billionaires were playing a game of Monopoly to take over the Vegas Strip. The whole city was peaking as the ultimate American playground with jugglers, dancers, magicians, zoo animals, and massive gardens, plus most of the outdoor entertainment was completely free. People would be kicking back in their hotels and seeing ads with restaurant prices that seemingly don't exist anymore.
And check out these Santa Fe Station values. 2-for-1 fajitas in Cabo Mexican restaurant. 99-cent margaritas every day in every casino bar.
Marketing teams like R&R Partners came up with the slogan, "What happens here stays here," or "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas." They marketed Vegas to make itself look like the American promised land.
First, there was the ancient Nevada desert.
They blazing the hell out of Las Vegas, but I can't lie, no amount of gaslighting or promotion can ever get rid of the image that Las Vegas is the degeneracy city, bro. It's too famous for that, bro. You can't, I don't know how people be taking their families there, man. Is there like a kids-friendly section or something? This sounds wild, I can't lie. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like literally like adult workers there. And it's like, how can you take your kids to an adult workers area, bro? Doesn't make sense.
And then an extraordinary vision of a great lake where wildlife could thrive, of championship golf courses, of magnificent homes, of grand luxe resorts, of a lifestyle unparalleled anywhere in the world.
While these mega resorts attracted young...
that fat text at the bottom of the screen to say, hey, all the legalese, bro. Son, I don't want to hear all that. I'm not reading all that, bro. Just give me the product, man. I'm not reading all that. Nobody reads all that, bro. Just lock in.
Crowds and families with incredible deals for a luxury experience, the older hotels that had become Vegas landmarks were priced out and destroyed. Visually stunning hotels like the Hacienda, Aladdin, El Rancho, Augusta Tower, Castaways, Bourbon Street, Boardwalk, Stardust, and New Frontier that had been around for decades were being demolished one by one. They simply couldn't compete with the new Vegas.
Demolished buildings like that looks crazy, bro. Flipping heck, man.
There's something kind of cool and dystopian feeling about massive buildings falling, followed by clapping and cheering. Las Vegas was being built bigger and more luxurious than ever, but nobody realized the final product was never meant for us. Leading into 2010, the illusion of choice was strong in Las Vegas. Now there were only 2 companies that owned the mega resorts on the Las Vegas Strip, Caesars Entertainment and MGM Resorts International. Vegas had transformed from a ton of individual businesses into a corporate monopoly.
You know what happens when there's a corporate monopoly. Oh boy, the experience is about to be buns.
The classic older architecture that had defined Vegas was being replaced by sleeker and more modern luxury buildings like the Cosmopolitan with over 3,000 rooms, large theaters, and classier restaurants. The Aria Resort and Casino looks like something straight out of Dubai. The lack of competition on the Strip started encouraging the few mega resort owners to engage in deceptive pricing. One of these was the start of resort fees. In 2008, MGM Resorts joined the bandwagon, followed by Caesars Entertainment in 2013 after a 2010 ad campaign during which they boasted of no resort fees, and even had Holly Madison posing in a no resort fees zone t-shirt. A price war began, sending base room prices plummeting and resort fees skyrocketing. Now the latter are $56.69 per night at the Bellagio, $56.63 per night at Caesars Palace, and at Circus Circus they're $41.95 on a room with a $43 weeknight base price. And when you find out what these fees are supposed to be for, you start to wonder why you're paying for them at all. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, they were originally intended to cover amenities such as access to pools, fitness centers, and wireless internet. Any normal person would question, aren't these amenities supposed to be built into the cost of the room? And yes, at literally any other hotel, they would be. What's insane is sometimes the fees would...
Just charge, what's the resort fee? Just charge the price, bro. Oh, the room price is 30, but the resort fee is $35 dollars. Son, just say 65 for the room, man. What are you doing, bro?
Cost more than the room itself.
We found a few examples, including Harrah's, offering rooms for about $28 a night, but the resort fee is $35 a night. Bally's is offering rooms tonight for $30, which is only $5 less than their resort fee. And the Rio has rooms for $29 tonight, which is only $1 less than their $30 resort fee.
It's also messed up that some of these fees have been known to go to helping pay for online travel agencies, who are often provided a commission for guiding customers to the resort. At that point, the customer is not only paying for an experience they cannot even opt out of, but they're also paying for promotional tools to bring more business to a company that's not giving customers a good deal. YouTuber Jacob's Life in Vegas has been following the decline of quality.
Okay, Fez, bro's doing well for himself. Please subscribe to me so we can get to such a big number. Thank you.
And rising prices for years.
You know what we have right now on the Strip? We have over 30 individual hotels who charge $50 to $55 for the resort fee per night. So now it's more like a $99 room turns into a $175 room. Because remember, you pay the $99 room price plus the 13.38% room tax on top of that price, plus you pay the $55 resort fee, plus you pay another 13.38% room tax on top of the resort fee.
Now their strategy is pretty obvious.
Inflation and everything, but like, how is it going up that much? That's so peak, man. We can't have anything nice, bro.
These hotels want to be able to list the rooms for a supposed great deal, $30, $50, and these days even $100 per night is considered good. But then they sneak in all these fees to the point where you're paying almost double what you thought you were going to spend. Slowly but surely, the middle class was being kicked out of Vegas. It was even getting harder to find something reasonably priced to eat. Buffets were changing from budget breakfasts and burgers and fries into finer dining experiences serving fresh crab legs, sushi, and quality desserts for
that. Crab legs and sushi. Bring back the burgers, bro. Bring back the fries. I don't care if you call me immature, bro. I'm not trying to eat crab legs, man. Bring out the burgers. We want burgers.
Big spenders. And currently we're seeing the mass effect this has been having on budget spenders all throughout Vegas. Even the affordable restaurants all over the Strip are slowly dying.
One of the Las Vegas Strip's most beloved cheap food spots closed forever in 2024. For years, this place represented everything that made Las Vegas affordable to people who cannot afford five-star dining at every single meal. Ocean One Bar and Grill was the kind of restaurant where family...
Bad if it's cheap, you know, for cheap food. Doesn't look too bad. I wish I could have tried it in my lifetime. I guess not.
Tourists can eat here without breaking their vacation budget, and locals would recommend it to tourists looking for a cheap place to eat. They were well known for having every item on their lunch menu cost just $4.99, and you could get 3 cocktails for $10.
That's insane, I can't lie. What a deal. Breakfast, bar, $5.99. That's almost too cheap. A little scary, do you think? What are they using? Pigeon meat? Maybe even cockroach? Maybe rat meat? It's too cheap, bro. When it's too cheap, it's a bit hard to trust it. But you know what? Everyone's glazing, so I guess I'll indulge in a plate. Or not, because it's closed.
The writing was on the wall when the prices started to climb in the months leading up to the closure. You could see that they wanted to keep their prices as low as possible, but they're struggling to survive in an atmosphere where pretty much everything costs more.
Now the only way someone could get a decent deal in Vegas was if they were over 350 pounds, because at the newly opened Heart Attack Grill, anyone who is fatally overweight...
That's insane. What kind of business strategy is that? So you only let in the bloods that are going to eat you out of business, bro. You're only letting the big bloods. They're going to eat the whole restaurant, and then what? Then what? That's crazy.
Can get a free meal.
Back then, he told us one of the perks of the job is eating free. Anyone who is over 350 pounds doesn't have to pay.
I'm big, you know what I mean? And so why not? But I don't eat here every day, so why not have
pounds, bro? Please, bro, lose the weight before you die young, man. That's crazy work.
fun with it and go with it as long as I can.
Sadly, we now know how long that was. Blair died last week at the age of 29.
Yeah,
his family.
That's so sad. I could have seen that coming. Like, I did not see that coming. Literally the right second after I had said to lock in, and it happened. 29. That's so young, bro. Obesity is a genuine disease, man. It's like, it's terrible. Guys, please eat well, bro. See, look, an apple a day keeps me away. Okay, I'm not a doctor yet, but one day.
Says the cause of death was pneumonia.
But as if pricing the average person out wasn't bad enough, now it feels like they are intentionally making the experience worse for anyone who isn't filthy rich or a high roller. With the widespread adaptation of new technology, Vegas is attempting to replace humans and whatever soul was left of the place. At the same time that luxury mega resorts started taking over Vegas, Caesars Entertainment and MGM resorts were making greater moves to control the behavior of their customer base. It wasn't enough that every hotel was designed to keep you trapped inside. They needed to find a way into your smartphones to track your movement before you even walk through the door.
That's so weird. Imagine a whole casino tracking your location through an app. That's so weird. That has to be illegal, bro. Unless it's not, because Bloods hit accept terms and conditions without reading such terms and conditions. Do you do that? Do you do that? I would never. I've never ever done that in my life. I've never just clicked terms and conditions and not read the conditions, bro. Like, how could you do that? Who would actually do that? Come on, guys, start reading it, bro, or else the casinos will track you.
The Las Vegas Sun reported that they began using the technology in 2010 with apps developed by Macro View Labs of San Francisco. The apps allowed resorts to target users by GPS signal, offering different deals depending on how close they are to their destinations. A customer with the app on his or her phone may be having dinner at the Cafe Vetro at the Aria.
You could have just said phone, fam. Like her droid, like Android, her droid. I've never seen anyone refer to a phone that way. Her corny app. He was written by Ron Sylvester. Lock in, fam. It's not funny. It's not the new lingo.
And receive a notice of a special in the casino. Someone in Tulsa, Oklahoma can use the Monte Carlos app to book rooms at the resort and make other travel reservations. And while this might seem like an innocent tool to help the customer find the best deals and tables, these apps were specifically created to trick people into thinking they have options when in reality they're just being advertised another company that the same business owns. The app's lead designer, Aaron Ezra, basically admitted to doing this by saying, "The MGM Grand alone has hundreds hundreds of pages of content. Along the strip, you're talking about hundreds of restaurants, hundreds of nightclubs, hundreds of casinos, and hundreds of activities. The individual apps also allow each resort to target its clientele in ways a shared app would not. It's all about being able to send the right information to the right person. In other words, he said, our multiple apps give our customer the illusion of choice. The customer doesn't realize this is a monopoly because every casino and hotel has their own app that's giving them a deal, when in reality, all of that money flows back up to the same corporation.
Corporations like, oh, you don't want to book with my company A? Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna get your money regardless, bro. Whether you book with my company A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, it doesn't matter, bro. I'm getting your money regardless. Ha 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 ha. And they told their like mustache or daredevil-y, like, that's crazy, bro. These monopolies have to end, man.
The long game for Vegas was finally clear. The mega resorts and cheap entertainment were never about the culture or the excitement. They were giant, beautiful mazes that are designed to be harder and harder to escape with every new building and app that came with it. And the experience for anyone who wasn't filthy rich just kept getting worse. Vegas started replacing humans with these apps and digital systems like self-check-in kiosks.
A ton of people lost their job because of these. Oh no. Here you go.
Goal is never have anybody wait more than 15 minutes, and we were far exceeding our goals by double during certain times of day and days of the week. However, they are trying to optimize something that doesn't need it. Checking into a hotel used to be a comforting part of the experience. You would talk to a friendly clerk, ask them questions about your stay, they might give you some recommendations. It can be a very pleasant interaction.
Nice.
And
way easier if you want to ask them for things. Now you have to place stuff on the flipping screen, bro. Now what happens if I need an extra towel? Then what? I need an extra towel. I want to speak to a human. And now I have to tap on the screen. Come on now. It's not good, bro. Bring back humans in these roles, please. At least a few humans. It doesn't have to always be screens, bro. We're tired of the screens. No more screens. Bring back the human beings.
Oftentimes is the first person that you actually talk to in a new city. So sure, now it's faster. Wait, no, actually it's not faster.
People visiting Las Vegas are waiting 3 to 4 hours in line waiting to check into their hotel room, and often when they get to the front of the line, they don't even have rooms that are ready yet. This is specifically at Caesars owned properties. This is Paris, and I'm about to show you Horseshoe. They sell their rooms dirt cheap, so they're always busy, and then they staff 2 people to check in guests.
And now, if you want to beat the lines and check in early, well, you're gonna have to pay for that.
The newest horrible ripoff are these crazy early check-in fees. Here at Caesars, I've heard $50 to $75. I've heard even higher at other places.
The corporate leaders running Vegas might want you to think people love the
corners, bro. You want to check in early, we're going to charge you. You want to check in late, we're going to charge you. And you want to check in on time, well, you got to wait 4 hours. It's like, what a garbage experience. Why even come here?
modern digital interface, but there are hundreds of thousands of reviews that say the exact opposite. I worked for Caesars for a couple years, and you are absolutely right about them being understaffed. The bathrooms are disgusting, and the guest waits for everything they need help with. They pack in the value guests and bend over backwards for the big spenders.
The bathroom is unacceptable. You can have long lines, you could have lack of staff, maybe even rude staff, but a dirty bathroom, now that is too far. I'm walking out right there, bro. And I'm getting my money back here. I will fight for it.
What was actually happening in Vegas was the same thing that was happening all over the world. Self-checkout lines have cut the number of cashiers in half, and yet we still see someone constantly having to repair them while costs for everyday goods continue to rise. We find ourselves in drive-thrus that are partly managed by artificial intelligence, only for them to glitch or shut down altogether. Food delivery apps promised faster service at lower prices, but all they really managed to do was eliminate the connection between restaurants and customers while charging fees that never benefit drivers. It's the promise of convenience.
These need to be studied. It's ridiculous. Service fee, delivery fee, eat my ass fee, diff fee, like all these stupid fees. Relax, bro. Now the same meal that in person that's like £10 is now £21. How does that make sense? To make me go all out.
while destroying all the human connection that actually is what gives us the most value, and corporate leaders laugh and line their pockets. Las Vegas is all of these issues on steroids.
Vegas is really, really expensive right now.
Is that your experience?
That is my experience. So this bottle of water is $14. So
the entire planet has become a glorified amusement park for the ultra wealthy, with the rest of us forced to work as the staff. And just as you thought it couldn't get any worse, Las Vegas has decided to remind us every day how they have made every wrong decision by constructing the Sphere. In 2018, Madison Square Garden Entertainment Corp, or MSG, announced that it was working on a new project called the Las Vegas Sphere. The structure was going to be nothing like people had seen before. At 580,000 square feet, a capacity for 18,600 people, and the exterior would be almost entirely wrapped by state-of-the-art LED screens. The inside is also
expensive, but really cool.
Entirely covered by LED screens and 167,000 speakers to give the audience the most immersive experience money could buy. And with the cost of construction reaching as
enjoying it, doing all that, calm down. 2.3 billion. Ah, yeah, I knew it. Holy.
high as $2.3 billion, this was a Dubai-level mega project that definitely couldn't go wrong, right? Nothing could go wrong. Caesars Vici Properties swooped in and bought the land under the Venetian and the Sphere for $4 billion. And when it was finally finished in 2023, it really did look incredible. The visual effects were stunning, and it looked like the future of Vegas was going to be incredibly different from what it was before. The Sphere had no casinos, hotel rooms, space for conferences, or anything Vegas was known for. It was meant to be a pure entertainment center where locals and tourists could see their favorite artists perform with the backdrop of wild visual effects. But right away, the Sphere started encountering problems. For starters, it doesn't matter what venue it is, an artist has to be able to sell over 18,000 tickets for people to want to go see them play. And very quickly, the Sphere realized that selling out wasn't going to be that easy, which meant that artists who actually could sell out these shows had a ton of leverage.
Because the only things that can make it work are bands that can do residencies, folks like the Eagles, Dead & Company, or U2. You basically have very few bands that can be good tenants for a venue like this. So that creates a problem. If there's very few bands that can fill a place like this, then that means they have a lot of pricing power on a venue like the Sphere. They can cut really good deals, such that the venue doesn't take home as much money, say, as a normal venue would in your town or my hometown. The Sphere only works with bands that can do these residencies because of all the AV setup required. That means that there's just not that many nights a week you can fill this place. See, residencies don't work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So these men spend billions and now they're losing their investment. They're bleeding money. That's crazy. That's peak, I can't lie.
Because they require people like me to fly in from other states or drive in from California to basically attend those things. It only operates a few nights a week with high volume, high margin kind of stuff like the concert I'm going to. The normal arena in, say, in your hometown or my hometown might be busy on Mondays or Tuesdays and making revenue. This bad boy, man, it's pretty much empty.
The Sphere lost $500 million the first year, quickly turning into a financial black hole. And this doesn't even account for the time spent creating graphics for every new artist that performs inside of it. Even worse, there are a large number of seats in the venue where people who spent hundreds of dollars to see a show couldn't even see the entire screen. I mean, the whole point of going to the Sphere and paying the astronomical ticket price
View. You can barely see anything. This has to be the worst view in existence.
is to see this magnificent screen. But even if you're just a die-hard music fan who wants to hear the performance, well, you might be disappointed, as many people who have sat in those seats report that the sound quality is horrible. Very quickly, the Sphere realized that concerts aren't going to pay the bills. The corporate owners have shifted almost completely to showing movies like The Wizard of Oz because pre-made entertainment cuts down on costs.
The Wizard of Oz, Carla, who's trying to watch that old-ass movie, bro? Like, sure, you can watch it, but you want to go all the way to Las Vegas, go all the way to the Sphere, see a wow, crazy experience just to watch The Wizard of Oz, mate, a movie you can watch at home on your TV? You sure, bro?
And while the Sphere is captivating at a first glance, after a while it starts to become an eyesore. Golfers have to deal with a giant emoji trolling them after a bad swing. Blackout curtains at nearby hotels can't even mask the blinding LEDs blasting through the windows. Drivers on the highway at night have an increased chance of being distracted or crashing into another distracted driver. It's slowly being considered a safety hazard that pollutes the area with psychedelic advertisements.
Wild safety things happen
happening in the vicinity of this project.
Erin Breen specializes in pedestrian safety and says this first-of-its-kind project poses serious traffic safety risks, with drivers stopping in the middle of the road, people running across lanes, all just to get the best possible view.
It's so much worse at night, and which makes it so much worse from a traffic safety standpoint, because it's so much harder to see pedestrians and bicyclists.
Some places are even capitalizing on views like this parking ramp, charging people $20 to see it from this perspective.
And even though the Sphere is falling into financial ruin, it is just the beginning of many more luxury mega projects that Vegas is spending.
Just to watch from the outside is crazy. Son, I'll do that for free. Like what? You crazy blood.
Billions on, like the Formula One racetrack that runs through the city, the athletic stadium for $2 billion that's supposed to be open to the public in 2028, the Warner Bros. Sony studio plot, or the LVXP Resort Arena that has plans to make the tallest building in the state. Cold, sterile, luxury projects with no soul are the future of this city, and it goes far beyond the Las Vegas Strip. There have been major residential construction projects where Vegas has produced homes to encourage people to settle in the city. Vegas has been constructing homes at a rapid pace and dubbing them luxury estates.
In Las Vegas, that's crazy, bro. The top 10 worst places to live, maybe? Maybe.
Aerial photographs have been taken to show that these homes are soulless carbon copies sold for $2 million on tiny lots. They seriously look like someone constructed a massive assembly line to produce as many overpriced homes as they could. The rapid growth in and around the Strip has made the city incredibly compact and very disorganized. The mega projects make it look like Las Vegas is entering a virtually crime-free era, but it's becoming so tightly packed and densely populated that your $2 million home is usually just a few blocks away from some of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the country.
Really, that's crazy. Splashing all that cash just to live next to the roadman. Yo, run me your thing, bro. And they're brandishing their knife and even gun, actually. It's the USA. They're brandishing their gun. Long day. This is not worth it, bro. How can you be living in Las Vegas, man? Out of all the places to live, bro.
Not to mention the countless stories of people putting their life savings into a home inspector's nightmare.
We received messages from homeowners across the valley that shared their own stories of purchasing a brand new home and discovering issues.
I couldn't tell you the number of items. There's pages full, at least 6 pages full.
Mike and Olivia Kraselic moved into their new build in the valley in December of 2021.
Won't open.
Some of the items on their fix-it list range from small to major. After it rained
this made as cheaply as possible. You spend so much money on flipping a toy house, bro. That is dark. Peak. Long day.
Summer, Olivia heard dripping in the wall.
When they came, they determined that our AC unit was reversed. The pipes were reversed.
Kraselic said there was stucco in the pipes, which caused everything to back up in the pan. The 2-week fix ended up taking a month to repair. They contact customer service and wait on trades to show up for repairs.
By 2026, the colorful and exciting resorts that made Vegas special are unrecognizable. Hotels like the Luxor have been hollowed out, and rooms are full of cheap, stained furniture that don't even fit the Egyptian theme anymore. Plus, these days, it's better served as a giant billboard than a luxury hotel.
Really, the whole room felt very tired and clearly had a note of cigarette smoke in the air.
This place is a dump. Ugh, look at all that BS in the corner. That's disgusting. F that. Ugh, even the walls.
Despite this, of course, being a non-smoking room. Even the bath towels stenched of smoke. But maybe the view would make up for it. Yeah, not really. Our window was located near the top of the building, but it was also behind the massive MGM Betts scrim, which meant our view was very obstructed and very difficult to see it. It also dramatically reduced the amount of light that would shine through. So much so that when I woke up the next day, I didn't even know if it was daylight or not.
Even for places like Circus Circus that still hold many of the old amenities, it typically looks like a depressing ghost town. Its center stage barely holds performances anymore, and the fair games are often completely empty. The Treasure Island's Pirate Show has been closed for years in order to make space for retail. Now, there are still standouts that have mostly refused to transform into bland, colorless, overpriced monsters. The best example of this is Excalibur, which still has the classic buffet,
Nice.
low budget.
At least you have some history. Excalibur to the end, baby.
entertainment, and the original decor matching its theme for families. And while it receives a lot of bad reviews for its room quality, it's not pretending to be something it's not. But sadly, it's one of the last resorts standing that reminds us of what Vegas used to be. By this point, the city is just trying to attract high spenders who won't question the prices and quietly push everyone else out. The truth is that appealing to the middle class simply isn't a desirable business model for a publicly traded company. It's much easier to automate the hotel experience and remove complimentary entertainment that affects the margins. If these monopolies own both the business and the land, it just makes more sense to partner with stadiums and massive structures covered in advertisements. They don't care if you're mad as long as their rich clients are happy. You'll start to see this in places all around America. Hotels will remove front desks and replace them with kiosks. Restaurants will raise prices to push out anyone looking for an affordable meal. Airlines will keep adding fees while making the base experience worse. Why? Because if people don't stop going, then why would they make the experience any better? They're doing this across various industries because corporate leaders have realized that even if they make the service worse and charge more for it, people don't stop giving them money. So there's literally no incentive to make the experience better. Even local entertainment will shift. Concerts, sporting events, and festivals will price out average fans and cater to more VIP sections and premium experiences. The only thing stopping this world from becoming a playground for the ultra wealthy is if the average person actually stops giving these companies their money. The only logical solution that could genuinely lead to change is to simply not go to Vegas, because as of today, they still need you way more than you need them. Just like the fast food industry, which once gave you more for less, but now is charging you much more for...
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We might even watch that one too. Patrick CC's been good, bro. His videos are really good. It's so true. These bug companies, they may try to control us, but at the end of the day, we are the prize, bro. You vote with your money. That's the power we have. If you don't give them money, you don't support them, you boycott, you don't go to their place, they'll be begging, bro. They'll be on their knees to get you back, and the service will get better. So if you really want things to get better, you have to have some discipline and just not go Vegas and not indulge in fast food too much, you know. There's always other alternatives. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and all that good stuff. See ya.